Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to a Fantasy Life YouTube channel. I'm your host, Ty Taylor, and today we're going to be discussing the differences between the fantasy apps you can use to play fantasy football with your friends. I've had experience using all these apps, some more than others, but I'm here to give you my opinion on each one. First up, we're going to be talking about the ESPN app. Overall, I was pretty disappointed with this. Last year was my first time using it with my friends, and there's nothing really special to it. Overall, I'm going to give it a 2-star. Starting off the user friendliness, I'm just giving it a 1-star, based on the fact that when you want to edit your roster, you got to go through a lot of steps. Like, you got to first edit roster, then you got to pick your player, then you got to pick the player you want to change it with, then you got to confirm. And if you don't confirm and you back out, it doesn't save. So I can see how people can get frustrated with this app. I give it a 3.5-star for up-to-date player information. It does a fairly good job with injuries and whatever else a player might be going through. And for features, I'm going to give this a 1-star out of 5. Just based on there's nothing really special about this app. It's just as basic as it comes. So if you're starting out this year with your friends, I absolutely would not suggest ESPN. Up next, we got the NFL Network. This app is very straightforward, very easy to use. Overall, I'm going to give it a 3.5-star, starting off with the user friendliness. That's a 3.5-star. It's very easy to use, very straightforward, trying to pick up, drop players, see who's in, who's out. Out of the up-to-date player info, I'm going to give that a 4-star out of 5. The NFL Network, of course, we're all familiar with. They got the NFL Fantasy Show that airs about 3 times a week, giving you pointers, who to start, who to sit. A lot of great information there. Features, however, I'm only going to give it a 3-star. There's a lot of users on there. They offer a lot of fun leagues. There's not too much special features about it, I guess. It's pretty standard. One thing I do like is when you're doing the draft, there's a voice that comes on when it's your turn. It says, "You are on the clock," which I thought was pretty good. One downfall with this app is their projections. I find sometimes they're way too low. Like, a backup running back will only be projected for like 1.5 points. Other than that, overall, very good app. I would recommend using it. Moving on. Here we have the Sleeper app, which is, I guess it's a fairly new app. Maybe it's been out for a couple of years. I've been using the app for player updates, as they have very up-to-date information, the best that's out there. But I did my first league last year with a couple friends on there, and I was very satisfied with it. Overall, I'm going to give it a 4-star. Starting off with user friendliness, I'm only going to give that a 3-star because it is confusing at first as to where you go to adjust your lineup, find the free agencies, the message board, things like that. It takes a little time to get used to, but once you do, it's pretty good. Up-to-date player info and statuses, I'm going to give that category absolutely 5 stars there. Like I said, I've been using this app just purely based on their up-to-date information, and it's definitely helped me out picking players up that have been activated that nobody has, whether a player is going to get hurt, or not going to get hurt, but if a player is going to be limited, giving me the ability right away to trade them for more than they're worth at the time. And in the features category, I'm going to give it a solid 4.5 stars. They have, fun features. There's a cartoon character throughout the day that are fighting each other, which is kind of fun. What is really good, I like a lot, is if you're interested in trading one of your players, you can put them on a trade block. And so other teams in your league, they can see who you're hoping to get to trade. So that's a huge bonus feature. And on top of that, you can, when you make a trade offer with somebody, you can add a trade deadline. So one thing that I find in fantasy that gets annoying is when you send somebody a trade offer and they let the trade off or sit there for 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, and it gets irritating. So with this app, you can actually put a deadline. So let's say the players got 24 hours to make their decision if they want to make the trade. So it does add different level of fun. Um, that's definitely a huge bonus. And one thing about their updates too is they offer like good stats, like position receiving yards by each team. And it'll show tight end, running back, and wide receiver. These are amazing stats that you really need for fantasy. That gives you a huge upper edge against your competition. So I absolutely recommend the Sleeper app. If you're starting out, definitely a great app. And last on our list, it's going to be Yahoo. This is my favorite app overall. I'm going to give it a 4.5 star, just slightly higher than Sleeper. User friendliness, I'll start off with 4.5 stars. It's very easy, straightforward software. There's many players. Player stats are easily accessible and organized. It's the best pre-draft rankings, in my opinion, when it comes to like who's going to be the better players of the year when you're doing your draft. If you're new to fantasy and you're just using the pre-draft rankings of whichever app you're using, Yahoo, I find, is the best, most accurate, definitely. Second up there on player info and statuses up to date. I'm going to give that a 4.5 star as well. Sleeper does such a good job with this category that it can't be beat. But Yahoo's very up to date with their information. If anybody gets hurt, you're going to get a notification right away. If you have somebody, say, in your lineup that isn't playing, you'll also get a notification saying that you have a player in that's out, which can save you if you're going to be starting a player that's not playing. I mean, that's huge. And the features, I'm going to give that only a 4 star. One thing I like is they have customized leagues where you can change anything, point structure, number of players, positions. It's very straightforward, very easy to put together. Also, they offer tons of mock drafts. 24 hours a day you can be going on there and finding that you're going to be finding a mock draft room that's full of people. Like anything, though, like people join for the first couple rounds and leave, but that's just the way it is. One thing I also really like about Yahoo is as the game is going on, it will change the projections for the remainder of the game for that player. And there'll be a green color if he's outperforming his projection, or a red color if he's underperforming, which just makes the experience that much more enjoyable. Yeah, so those are pretty much the top 4 fantasy apps that people use for their leagues. Hopefully that'll give you a better understanding which one is better for your league. If you're just starting out, which one's the most beneficial to beginners. One more thing I wanted to touch on before I ended this video was draftwizard.fantasypros.com. It's an absolute must to use before you do your draft. It's basically mock draft, but with computer, and you can set which position drafting you are going to be, how many players are in the league, and also how many roster spots of each position there are. And it's great practice. I mean, if you're in a serious league, you should probably use this at least 10 times before you do your real draft, just to give you an idea if you should start with wide receiver or running back, who would be left if you go which way. Of course, real fantasies are always a little bit different than the computer. But absolutely, draftwizard.fantasypros.com. Definitely got to look that up before your draft day. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. And until the next video, take it easy.